And we continue at 2:05 in the afternoon on the John Phillips Show. Mr. Randy Wiggs in Culver City.
John, let me find you another one of these great calls that took place when you were on vacation last week. And we had Steve Hilton on the show, spent the rest of the hour talking about who are you supporting for governor. We had a whole lot of people call in. And I saved two of these calls because I'm like, you know what? Johnny's probably going to hear these when he gets back. Here's the other one. Let's go to Lisa in Long Beach. Lisa, hello.
Hi, Randy.
Hi.
Steve Hilton, all the way, and I'm making my first donation today. And because I'm vegan, of course it's never porker.
Oh, my.
Didn't see that one coming.
It sounds like last week was lively. 800-222-5222 is the telephone number. 1-800-222-5222. Just when you think you've seen it all, after COVID-19, when the teachers' unions shut down on-campus instruction for over a year, and in the case of LAUSD, a lot longer than that. Now we're getting the postmortems. Now all of the experts are weighing in on our practices during COVID to find out what worked and what didn't work. And it almost doesn't matter which postmortem you look at. They all say the same thing, which is shutting down the schools was a really bad idea. It was bad for the kids psychologically. It was bad for the kids in terms of their education. It didn't do much in terms of spreading or slowing the spread of the virus, but it's what the teachers' unions wanted, so that's what they got. During COVID, we were told it didn't matter if the kids were on campus or not. Learning from home in front of the computer was just as good as being on campus, so stop asking so many questions. We also now know that enrollment in many K-12 school districts in the state of California, including some of the biggest ones like San Francisco, Oakland, Los Angeles, it's in free fall. We know that the state is broke. We're upside down. We have a budget deficit, and we're waiting for the May revise to figure out how it is that we're going to pay for it. Given all of these things that exist, it's really hard to fathom a world where the teachers' unions then go to the school district and say, give us more money or we're going to go on strike. Yet, Randy, in San Francisco, at least, that's exactly what they're doing.
San Francisco's teachers' union has announced that they are authorizing a possible strike. In Southern California, UTLA is thinking of doing the exact same thing. Why?
We demand higher pay.
All of this, by the way, is going on at the same time that the community college system, Cal State and UC, are all complaining that they're having to spend extra money on remedial math and English classes because the K-12 system isn't doing their job.
For more on the potential strike in San Francisco Unified, here's a report from KPIX in the Bay.
San Francisco teachers have voted to authorize a strike with nearly 98% voting in favor of the work stoppage.
Amanda Harry spoke with a parent and a teacher about what could happen next.
An overwhelming number of San Francisco public school teachers have voted in favor of a potential strike, which could result.
You know, with how expensive it is to raise a kid there, I wonder what the teacher to student ratio is right now. Is it like 1-to-1?
I'll tell you, if you want to talk about a group of people who are overplaying their hand, it's these people. I just read an article about people, I think it was in the Bay Area, where they're sending their kids to some kind of AI school, where the AI school, in fact, it was Elon Musk who was tweeting about it. The AI school teaches you, the kids, everything that they learn in a full day at a public school in 2 hours.
Oh, I did that rap. I think I did that one of the times you were gone. Yeah. Now, this school isn't cheap, but believe you me, this technology is only going to get cheaper, but the kids learn everything they could possibly need to know from the AI bot These jobs are numbered.
That's the way technology always is. Go back to when VCRs first came out. They were like $2,000, $3,000 per VCR. And at the end, they were practically giving them away. And then the technology just became out of date and antiquated, and people moved on to DVDs and streaming and other things. In public education, if you want to find an industry that is ripe to be taken over by AI, it's that one. And if they keep behaving this way right at the same time that AI is beginning to explode, they're going to have a huge target on their backs.
An overwhelming number of San Francisco public school teachers have voted in favor of a potential strike, which could result in kids losing time in the classroom.
For children and the families, they are going to be the biggest victims of this strike if it happens.
Madi Rahimi has a kindergarten.
Yeah, but these are the same people that kept the schools closed for in San Francisco a year and a half, in LA 2 years. Keeping it closed for another few weeks, that's fine.
You know, and I'll tell you this, you talk about the AI. I took 4 years of Spanish in high school. I can't get by when I go to Latin America. I really don't even come close to speaking anything. I can't pronounce the words correctly. It was useless. But you talk to these people who use Rosetta Stone or some of these different techniques to learn a foreign language, and they understand that foreign language in no time.
I'm already learning so I can go back to Spain. Yo quiero vermut, por favor.
Madi Rahimi has a kindergartner in the San Francisco Unified School District. Now he's trying to prepare for the unknown.
It obviously comes with a lot of uncertainty and anxiety about this.
It's a really interesting world of the people that can afford to live and raise a family in San Francisco, but are still too cheap for private school.
Yeah, that is a strange type of person.
It obviously comes with a lot of uncertainty and anxiety about disruption to the school year.
He says if a strike happens, parents will have to come up with child care plans, and he worries about the disruption to the kids' learning.
Yeah, okay. Where was he during COVID?
Especially if it's a long strike. Although he does believe the teachers need a fair contract.
The kids love.
Wait, are we getting sirened in the middle of this rap about schools?
Why not? We get sirens in every other rap we do on this show.
Although he does believe the teachers need a fair contract.
The kids love them.
What I don't understand is you look at this most recent budget where revenues were higher than expected, so the budget goes up. Because of Prop 98, automatically, if more money comes in, more money goes to the schools. Where is that money going?
You know what this is? This is the same mentality that the politicians, the Democratic majority in Sacramento has. They believe they're never going to lose an election. And if you believe that you're bulletproof and you're never going to lose an election, then you can behave however it is that you want to behave. You can drive drunk. You can do favors for your friends. You can show up. You can not show up. Whatever. It doesn't matter. You're not going to lose. And the teachers' unions are of the belief that it doesn't matter how they behave. Those jobs are going to exist in perpetuity. No one ever has to worry about losing their job. So just go for the gold. Go balls to the wall. Ask for the moon, and then if they don't give it to you, demand the solar system. And it works until it doesn't. And if you overplay your hand of cards right when technology is going to render you useless, you're really doing a disservice to your membership, because the membership is just paying attention to what the union leadership is saying. And the union leadership is saying, yes, vote to authorize a strike. Well, they're leading them off the cliff. And I don't even think the membership is aware of it.
The kids love them. They are fantastic teachers. So it is that it has come to this, and we're at this place and are at an impasse.
More than 5,000 teachers voted to authorize the strike. Nearly 98% voted in favor of it, including Roosevelt Middle School PE teacher Vanessa Hutchinson-Zekeli.
We are really hoping not to strike.
We're hoping the threat of it will be enough so they'll give us everything we want and more.
And usually that's the case.
That's what happened. If you wonder where this drop is from,
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
It's when the LAUSD union, UTLA, went on a solidarity strike with the SEIU to get them a raise. And then Cecily, who was asking for a 20% raise, ended up getting a 22% raise.
Way to bring them to their knees there, Ace.
My colleagues, the community, we don't want to strike. We want to stay in our classrooms with our students.
She says the United Educators Union is asking for what they believe is needed to help stabilize their schools. A 9% salary increase over 2 years and health care. Under state law, they cannot strike until the completion of an independent fact-finding process.
The fact-finding report is due by the latest February 4th. So
that's coming up.
Think about this for a second. As I mentioned before, enrollment is declining. Can you imagine any other scenario where there are fewer customers, a lot fewer customers, and you just go in there and demand more because you can?
So when that, after that, a strike could be called, potentially. So we are in school on Monday with joy in our hearts.
I don't know about that.
Boy, she really sounds like she's filled with joy, doesn't she?
SFUSD Superintendent Dr. Maria Su sent out a notice to parents that...
What is she a doctor of?
Probably education.
The team and I are working hard to reach a fair agreement that is centered on what is best for the students while also preparing responsibly in the event of any disruption. I recognize that the uncertainty is stressful and will provide as much notice as possible in the event of a strike. But for Rahimi, a strike can be avoided.
I would really hope adults to, step up, figure out how they can be adults together, and the kids.
Oh, they don't do that. Usually it's these contract negotiations where things get real ugly real fast.
Oh yeah, they have the picketing going on outside the schools.
And I want you to be all the way pissed off.
And someone always brings the war drums.
Oh yes.
Kids aren't there. They can't have a say in this. You're doing it for them. You're all public servants, both on the administration and district side and the teachers. We love you all. Just sit together and figure it out.
Earlier tonight, I spoke with Dr. John Logan, who is the chair of labor and employment studies at San Francisco State University. He added some perspective on the significance of the union potentially striking for the first time in nearly 50 years.
They think that there's a lack of transparency around the...
Wait, this guy's a Scot.
What are you alleging?
He's Scottish, that's all.
Okay. You're not questioning his sobriety, are you?
No, not one bit. I'm just getting, thanks to Love Island, I'm getting really good at picking out UK dialects.
They think that there's a lack of transparency around the budget of the school district. Now, the school district does have a deficit. It does have declining enrollments, as you say.
So where's the money coming from?
That's a very good question.
But at the same time, it has very significant reserves, what it calls its rainy day fund, that can be used in emergency situations.
And this is usually the fight that you hear at every single teacher strike, whether it's OUSD, it's UTLA, it's San Francisco. It's usually, yes, the school's broke, but they have all this emergency money and we need it now.
Okay, but emergency money is supposed to go for emergencies. Let's just say there's a weather event that destroys the property of the school. You need new playgrounds. You need new gyms. You need new whatever. That's what the emergency money's for. If you use the emergency money to give out raises to your existing employees, that's not an emergency. That's luxury.
Well, to the union, everything's an emergency.
And the union is saying, clearly this is an emergency situation. We have an enormous problem with teacher recruitment and retention in San Francisco. You need to use this $111 million that you have in reserves in terms of a rainy day fund. It needs to be used now to preserve the quality of education and to make sure that you're able to hold on to the teachers that you have in the district.
Otherwise, the teachers are going to take their talents to a town that's less expensive.
Okay, and then what happens if there's an earthquake that destroys the property and you no longer have a fund to pay to replace it?
Gavin will bail us out.
We'll stay up to date with any new developments in this ongoing situation here on air, as well as on our...
There you go. So the strike authorization has happened. The report that has to be done statutorily gets filed later on in the week. And at that point, they can either see who blinks first, or there's going to be no educating going on in San Francisco till they get their raise. And it's not if they get their raise, it's when they get their raise. We know how this game works.
I think part of the strategy here is that no one involved, and I mean no one, from the union to the teachers to the administrators to the school board, none of them worry about going bankrupt, because if they're insolvent due to generous employee contracts, I think the belief is that Sacramento will bail them out. Because don't forget, Newsom beat Antonio Villaraigosa for governor back in 2018 because the teachers' unions all got behind Newsom because Villaraigosa had the charter school people. Newsom owes them. Newsom, they believe, will give them whatever they want.
Well, Newsom let them keep the schools closed longer than any other state in the union.
That's right. And they feel like they have the same relationship with the state legislature, too. So if you can't go bankrupt because you know that you're going to get bailed out by Sacramento, you're bowling with bumpers. You don't have to worry about failing. And that's where they are. So San Francisco, you may be seeing a teacher strike headed your way very, very soon. 800-222-5222 is the telephone number. 1-800-222-5222. If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And Randy, we're going to Long Beach on Friday.
On Friday, we're heading back to Long Beach, to Gladstone's in Long Beach, and you're invited. Come enjoy the great food, good vibes, and a fun afternoon by the water. This Friday from noon to 3, John Sengmeister will take care of you. We're going to be there with special guests like Susan Shelley from the Howard Jarvis Taxpayer Association. She'll tell you more about your taxpayer rights and protecting Prop 13. As the courts have made it easier to raise your taxes, we need you to come by and sign the petition to save Prop 13. You can bring them with you and drop them off in person. Susan needs all these signatures by February 17th, so if you haven't done so, go to saveprop13.com. That's saveprop13.com. Come hang out with us, grab a bite, and be part of the broadcast, The John Phillips Show, live at Gladstone's in Long Beach this Friday from noon to 3.
Let's go to Harold in Lakewood. Harold, hello.
Hi, John. So I have a question and a comment. This is a capitalistic society we live in, correct?
It is.
Competition is key to what we do. So why do we have no competition with public schools? They get to do whatever they want. Why don't we get school choice? Let's see what they would do if there was school choice. I think the competition or the quality of the education would go up quite a bit if we didn't have these people doing things that they shouldn't be doing and getting money for what they're not really doing. So that's my comment.
For a crowd of people obsessed with equity, as the teachers' unions are, what's interesting is there is competition. But right now, only rich people have access to the private schools and the elite educations that are available. If you are poor or you're lower middle class and your parents don't have the financial wiggle room that people who are doing better than you have, then you're stuck in the crummy public school and you end up with an awful education, whereas people from more affluent backgrounds end up with a much better education. This is one of these things that I think AI is going to be great on. I think AI will make it so that people in the poorest communities in the country have access to a high quality education. The problem for educators is it won't involve them. It'll involve the technology, and we'll be able to do it much cheaper than how we're doing it right now. Here with an update on the fires, Mr. Randy Wang.
So, one of the things that the city of Los Angeles promised when it comes to the recovery in the Palisades fire was a report that was commissioned by the city of Los Angeles that would specifically lay out how we're going to rebuild when it comes to infrastructure, whether that's utilities, roads, fire evacuation routes. There's a lot of residents that are waiting on that report until they want to rebuild because they want to know what the standards are going to be for all of these infrastructure problems. And that report has been in bureaucratic delayed hell for months and months and months and is still not out a year later.
Seems on brand.
For more, here's Fox 11 in Los Angeles and Matthew Seedorf.
Only on Fox 11 tonight, a critical rebuilding report for Pacific Palisades promised months ago is still not public. Some residents now raising alarm, saying it's now stuck in the city attorney's office. Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf live in Pacific Palisades tonight with this exclusive report for us. Matt.
Well, Susan, this report is crucial for the rebuild, and now some are wondering what's taking so long.
Well, it's the city of L.A.
If the city of L.A. were to come out and say, this is us working to the best of our abilities, and they're this far behind, they'd be telling you the truth.
This is the same city where Karen Bass last year promised to waive permitting fees for the Palisades rebuilds, and that still hasn't made it through the city council. And this is the exact same city of L.A. that delayed the LAFD after action report so it could be doctored to make sure the city didn't look too bad.
Business as usual.
A highly anticipated rebuilding roadmap for fire-devastated Pacific Palisades now considered weeks overdue.
The report was due back in mid-November to the mayor's office, and now I don't know where it is.
In June, Mayor Bass announced the city had hired...
Isn't this supposed to be like priority one issues?
She doesn't care, and her belief is the Palisades only represents less than 1% of the total population of Los Angeles, and Altadena is an unincorporated county of LA, so they don't get a vote in the mayor's race. So it doesn't matter how much she abuses these people.
In June, Mayor Bass announced the city had hired AECOM, tasked with designing new infrastructure, stronger fire protection, and updated evacuation routes.
There's been a lot of work done.
But after months of public meetings like this, there's still no public report.
We're talking probably close to $20 million in consultant fees that's been paid.
This report...
Oh, that's what this is about.
Oh, yes. Everyone's making a mint off of it.
How many consulting groups were hired in the wake of all of this disaster? No one knew what exactly they were doing, but they all got a whole lot of money. And then what do we find out? The LAFD, through their foundation, hires a crisis management firm to deal with all the bad PR they were getting.
How greedy are these people? If you're a consultant, can't you just rob Tom Steyer blind? Why do you have to continue to victimize these people, too?
We're talking probably close to $20 million in consultant fees that's been paid.
This report is crucial.
Critical. But more than anything, what's critical is that we rebuild infrastructure properly.
Residents say they were told last week by city officials the documents are now sitting in the city attorney's office.
What's the document doing with the city's attorney's office? I can only question what could possibly require that much investigation.
With AECOM also a consultant for LADWP. You know, where can we trust anybody in this process?
You can't trust anybody. If the reason these reports are taking so long, it's because they're trying to craft a work of fiction.
She is worried about re-election, and that's it.
The scariest part for me is right before this report was due, the leadership of AECOM quit.
We approved AECOM's contract.
In November, Councilwoman Tracy Park said the report would be released in about 30 days.
And it was not.
Nope, not even close.
It's now February, more than a year since the fire, and still no report or plans for city infrastructure.
6 months too late. This information should have been out there way earlier.
Fox 11 has repeatedly reached out to the mayor's office, city attorney, and AECOM with questions about the delay. So far, only
And who exactly is AECOM friends with, and how did they get this $20 million contract to consult on a report that nobody has seen?
It seems like we've seen this movie before.
So far, only Councilwoman Park has responded with a statement saying Palisades residents deserve answers. I've pressed every city department and outside partner to treat this with the urgency it demands.
Yeah, but Tracy, you're a small voice in there and they don't pay attention to you.
Nope, and they can outvote her anytime they want to.
Why would
She couldn't even with everyone wanting to support the residents of the Palisades, even with Tracy Park doing everything she wanted to do, the city still is slow walking and dragging their feet when it comes to waiving permit fees for rebuilds.
Disgraceful.
Why would the head of ACOM quit? Something's missing here. Why is it stuck in the attorney's office? Something's missing here.
Gino is showing you live what the lights look like on this block and other blocks. It is dark, and this plan includes things about power lines, water, and roads, and without it, some residents feel like the rebuild truly can't begin here.
Yeah, shouldn't we have started with this, and shouldn't we have had this? How long does it take to craft a report of, okay, here's everything that was bad with our infrastructure, here's how we can make it less bad?
I'm telling you, if your home burned down in that fire, cut bait, because this is going to be a never-ending nightmare.
In Pacific Palisades. Reporting live tonight, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Matthew, do the residents have a plan on what to do and how to force it out of the city attorney's office?
Yeah, no, they're demanding these questions too. They don't really have a specific plan. They keep pestering them and asking when it's going to be available, but right now they're really not getting that answer.
Sounds like something for the attorneys. Matthew Seedorf, thank you so much.
So there you go. Once again, Sheng Tao is the soothsayer that we all knew that she was when she said,
"The bureaucracy is real."
Meanwhile, Karen Bass's administration is continuing to victimize the fire victims, she is preparing to give the State of the City address.
And she's doing it real early, maybe because this is filing week for who's going to run for mayor. Here's NBC LA.
And tomorrow, LA Mayor Karen Bass will give her State of the City address. And there is much to discuss, from immigration operations to protests to wildfire recovery and the upcoming sporting events, the major ones that LA is hosting.
You mean the World Cup?
And how about the Olympics?
It will be her last State of the City before the mayor's race this year. NBC4's Tracy Leong joining us live now from downtown LA with what we can expect from the mayor's speech. Tracy.
Yeah, Jonathan and Kathy, Mayor Karen Bass will take the stage tomorrow, an event that always also carries extra political weight. And this is coming 3 months earlier than her usual State of the City address. And
by the way, it was that State of the City address last May when she promised she would waive the permit fees for the Palisades residents.
She should give this speech from Ghana.
Also, on the same day that candidates can begin filing for the 2026 mayoral race.
LA, let's go win.
Oh, boy.
There she is, Mother Goose.
Let's win on the world stage.
She dropped the D.
Whirl.
Let's win on the world stage, yes, but let's especially win here at home.
During her 2025 State of the City address, Mayor Karen Bass struck an aspirational tone, leaning into a global vision for Los Angeles and a message of unity as the city prepares to host major international events.
This is about pride. It's about choosing to believe in our city again and proving it with action.
Now with the FIFA World Cup.
If it's about pride, would she allow the city to deteriorate to the condition that it's in now, where there's graffiti everywhere, there's trash everywhere, there's homeless people everywhere, there's abandoned buildings everywhere? If we had pride, would we live that way?
Now with the FIFA World Cup only months away, Mayor Bass is positioning herself as the leader to carry the city forward.
You mean the same leader that let the Palisades burn down and let the 10 freeway burn down and let homeless people start how many fires every single day? Yeah, she's doing great.
Well, she had a party to go to that was really important.
Mayor Bass is positioning herself as the leader to carry the city forward by holding the State of the City address on the very day challengers are looking to enter the race for mayor.
The most important one is that the city is going in the right direction under her leadership.
Says who?
How drunk is this guy?
Or does he say that's what she needs to say in the speech? Like, I don't know anybody that says this city is moving in the right direction. And that is saying something. We really didn't think it could get any worse than this guy.
I received things on both ends.
Let me rephrase that and say it this way. You'd have to be drunk to believe that.
And she deserves to still be mayor. And this is one of the great positives for someone like mayor of Los Angeles. It is an election year. She is running for re-election.
Loyola Marymount University political professor Fernando Guerra says Bass is in campaign mode, and during her speech will most likely highlight how sporting events are an opportunity to bring the city together.
That's your big message?
Wait, I thought from her point of view, burning the Waymos was the opportunity to bring the city together.
The mayoral election is June 2nd, just days before the World Cup kicks off.
She's got to make people feel good in terms of some very directed action on homelessness, the rebuilding of the...
Which we have not had.
No, she spent a fortune, but we still have a ton of people living on the streets.
The rebuilding of the Palisades.
What rebuild?
That's not happening.
Public safety.
What public safety?
We buy shampoo that's locked up behind bulletproof glass.
The major issues that cities are responsible for. That is the job of the mayor. She is the mayor. Yes, it's an advantage, and yes, it's coverage, and yes, she gets to control the agenda on this presentation, but it's her job.
Mayor Bass will hold her State of the City address tomorrow at 3 p.m. You can watch.
Oh, great. I get to drive home listening to that.
Have fun.
You can watch the live stream on our website, NBCLA.com, or on our YouTube channel, NBC LA. Reporting live in downtown LA, Tracy Leong, back to you.
There you go. Karen Bass's State of the City is about 15 minutes away.
You think she'll talk about the World Cup?
I think that's the only thing that she'll talk about because it's the only thing that she thinks can make her look good, even though it really has nothing to do with her. And ultimately, we're going to have people from 100 countries come visit this place and be like, what the hell, LA?
800-222-5222 is the telephone number. 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to Martha in Rancho Cucamonga. Martha, welcome.
Hello, good afternoon. Well, today is Groundhog Day, February 2nd, 2026. I'm sorry, I apologize for that.
Okay.
And the groundhog says if he sees a shadow, then there's more 6 months of winter. Do you believe that's true?
Well, I know that it is something that we pay attention to every single year. I don't necessarily know if the groundhog determines the weather, though.
Okay, it was born in Pennsylvania, and yes, I was just wondering if Elton John with Philadelphia Freedom is listening to the groundhog.
Thank you for the call.
That was her, wasn't it?
I think so. Different name, different city every time she calls.
I feel like one of the times before she's called herself as Martha, but this is the one, what was it, 3-4 years ago now when she called in and started talking about Madonna?
I do have to say I enjoy the calls.
It's always fun.
Keep calling, Martha. We'll put you on. All right. We know that times are tough right now in the city of Oakland to be a business owner. But Randy, there's at least one business in Oakland that's still operational.
And in fact, it's operating illegally after a police raid. It is a smoke shop that does not have a permit that's been selling all kinds of things that you shouldn't be selling, like what I happen to think happens at most smoke shops. And the same day they got busted, they were still open for business.
Oh, Oakland. You always have to Oakland.
For more, here's KTVU Fox 2.
24-hour smoke shop in Oakland is continuing to operate.
Really? 24 hours for that?
Well, sometimes you need your fix late at night.
24-hour smoke shop in Oakland is continuing to operate even after it was raided by police. KTVU's crime reporter Henry Lee is joining us now live from our newsroom after talking with concerned neighbors near that business. Henry?
Well, Alex, residents tell me they're stunned that despite this Oakland police raid, the smoke shop is still open all day, every day, right around the corner from a middle school.
Great neighborhood.
This 24-hour smoke shop that opened a month ago in the heart of Oakland's Diamond District is unlicensed, according to police and city officials.
But it's still operating.
And appears that they have no intention of shutting down.
Well, and this is the thing. This is the same thing that's going on in L.A., where apparently it's impossible to shut down illegally operating pot stores, so the city wants to figure out how to tax them.
And less than 2 weeks ago, Oakland police converged on the shop at MacArthur and Maple, arrested a suspect, and seized this illegal AR-15, as well as marijuana, mushrooms, ecstasy, and flavored tobacco products.
Oh, my goodness.
And an AR-15?
But that didn't seem to faze store officials, because just hours...
Now, I know when you do ecstasy, you want to hug everything. Don't hug the gun.
No, no, no.
But that didn't seem to faze store officials, because just hours after the police raid,
there were guys out front high-fiving and reopening and walking back in, and it's been open ever since.
And again, this establishment does not have a business license. They do not have a permit. They're pretty much squatting.
You think they'd buy ad time on this show?
Hey, give us an email. We'll connect you with the right people.
This woman who lives in the area did not want to be identified. She says the shop has no business being in the neighborhood. Bret Hart Middle School is just around the corner.
There's just
Wait. They named the middle school in this neighborhood after the excellence of execution, Bret the Hitman Hart?
Might be a different Bret Hart, but I'm going to have to check.
Bret Hart Middle School is just around the corner.
There's just a lack of understanding as how this could still be open. Illegal activity should not be allowed to continue seemingly unabated.
I spoke to a store clerk who did not want to go on camera and professed no knowledge of the police raid. The smoke shop with its...
What? I didn't know we got busted. I thought the mushrooms were still in the back.
How high do you have to be to not know that the cops raided your shop?
Giant Sign and Arrow was once home to High Hat Cleaners until it closed during the COVID outbreak. A man who answered the phone on a for lease sign that once hung on the building told me the suspect arrested was a handyman who had the rifle for protection.
Okay, I can understand why you'd need to be armed up if you're working in that neighborhood.
Police declined to release more details.
There's also been connections between this shop and sideshows that have been going on.
The smoke shops.
Janani Ramachandran, why can't you shut this down?
The smoke shop sits in Councilmember Janani Ramachandran's district.
When you're selling things illegally under the guise of whatever you're trying to be, you are impacting our most vulnerable community members, which are Oakland youth.
We spotted Rena Moyle working as a nanny.
I was really surprised to hear that they opened over there. Now I'm kind of really worried that you stated what they found. Very concerned.
I just walked in, asked them, about some, like personal stuff, like blacking my house and everything.
Darren Sasser says he's a regular customer and that the store fills a demand.
I'm sure they do, in more ways than one.